These are incredibly testing times for those like me who regard ourselves as progressives. Now, what do I mean by progressivism? I go back to the 1990s. This was the era of Clinton's New Democrats, of Blair's New Labour, which joined the left to the centre, which joined social justice to economic competence. We were deeply committed to public services, but we wanted to rethink their delivery, just as we need, in my view, to do so again now in this century. Unless we can point to a future in which there is a much more equal distribution of the fruits of what we are doing, we are not going to be able to win a lasting political argument. We're not going to be able to carry that consensus that we need to bring about those changes and implement those policies to improve people's lives. Populism is actually a device for winning power, not exercising it. Social democracy, as I would call it, continues to be the best bundle of ideas, of insights and values on which to govern well for the many and not the few.
I am fascinated by why there wasn't a succeeding generation. I mean, you know, there's you and Blair and Brown. I mean, and where is the next generation? And why didn't that happen?
That leadership, essentially the sort of Blair leadership, who did appoint a lot of good people, but he nurtured a sort of sense of, you know, incipient betrayal. That Blair wasn't quite the genuine article, that he wasn't a real left-winger, that he was sort of not an honest social democrat. And that, in my view, is when the erosion started, the erosion of confidence, of trust, essentially opened the doors of our party to literally anyone who wanted to come in, which paved the way for our present leader, Jeremy Corbyn. Actually, he's very like, from the left, very much like your own president, Donald Trump. I mean, he's full of, you know, everyone in power has let you down, all the elites are terrible and are simply looking after themselves. It's a sort of stock in trade of, you know, the populism. British politics is in a state of Brexit exhaustion, fatigue. If we wanted to come here, we would simply have to replace one set of rules in Europe for a new set of rules here in America. We would then not be able to have the same access to our European market because we'd rejected their rules, rejected their product standards, rejected their regulatory systems, and we really would be forced to choose. These are very big existential questions for a country like Britain, but it will not surprise you that none of them were rehearsed at the time of the referendum. The question for Mr. Trump, though, is whether he can effectively, in the next presidential election, be the same advocate and persuasive champion of change. What are the Democrats going to provide as an alternative? Their people, I can tell you, if they're going to be effective, they're going to have to be absolutely firmly placed on the side of, you know, the working and middle class of this country. They're going to have some new ideas, absolutely determined fighters to change the country in its direction in order to give people a better chance.